Please rise for silent invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, let's play ball. Will the clerk call the roll?
Councilman Foley?
Here.
Councilman Grubbs?
Here.
Councilman Bastian?
Here.
Vice Mayor Stiltner?
Here.
Mayor Burnett?
Here. We have a full quorum. We can conduct business this evening, and the first of that will be the City Council Town Hall Center CRA Joint Special Meeting, in which case I need to have you call the roll for the CRA.
Don Burnett?
Here.
Drew Bastian?
Here.
Scott Stiltner?
Here.
Tracy Grubbs?
Here.
Michael Benedict? And Chairman Foley?
Here. Okay. With that, members of the council. Call the roll for the members of the council.
Councilman Foley?
Here.
Councilman Grubbs?
Here.
Councilman Bastian?
Here.
Vice Mayor Stiltner?
Here.
Mayor Burnett?
Here. With that, we have a quorum for the CRA as well. Are there any objections to the notice of meeting? I hear none. The notice is accepted, so I'll be opening all the items of joint discussion by the City Council and the CRA. And Chairman Foley will call for the vote for the CRA, and I'll call for the vote for the City Council. With that, opening item B2, which is ordinance 2024-14, an ordinance of the City of Port Orange, Volusia County, Florida, approving the First Amendment to the River Yard Master Development Agreement, providing for repeal of conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. At this point, I will need two motions, one from the CRA, and I'll ask Chairman Foley to ask for that one.
Yeah, I would like to get a motion there, yeah?
I'll read the motion. Move to recommend approval for the proposed First Amendment to the River Yard Master Development Agreement as set forth in ordinance number 2024-14, consistent with the Port Orange Town Center Plan as amended, and authorizing CRA Chair and Agency Clerk to execute all necessary documents.
All right, need a second?
I'll give you a second on that.
All right.
And with that, I need a motion from the council.
I'll read that one as well. Move to approve ordinance number 2024-14, approving the First Amendment to the River Yard Master Development Agreement, and authorize mayor and city clerk to execute all necessary documents.
All right, and I will give you a second on that one.
All right, both items and that item is open to both the CRA and the council. Let's go ahead and get the next one open. B3, the temporary license agreement with Bristol Port Orange Waterfront LLC.
Move to approve the temporary license agreement with Bristol Port Orange Waterfront LLC for parcels owned by the CRA and jointly owned with the city, subject to the approval of ordinance 2024-14, and authorize chair and agency clerk to execute all necessary documents.
And Chairman Foley, I'll second his.
Yeah, all right, that'll
So
work
that
for
is
me.
open on behalf of the CRA. I need the same for the council.
And I move to approve the temporary license agreement with Bristol Port Orange Waterfront LLC, subject to the approval of ordinance 2024-14, and authorize mayor and city clerk to execute all necessary documents.
And I will second that.
So the item is open and on the floor for discussion, both items to the CRA and to the council. This is second reading on both items. Council and the CRA, comments or questions?
Ready to see something happen.
Amen to that. With that, anyone here care to speak to the item? Mr. Berman, you had an easy night. What you got, Robert?
Mayor, council members, Robert Reinhagen, 1425 Dexter Drive North, Port Orange. In reading the Exhibit I, First Amendment to the River Yard Master Development Agreement, it says, whereas the developer is the contract purchaser of the city property and as such requests the city to amend to allow permitted interim uses. And it says, in consideration of the mutual covenants contained in here and other valuable considerations. And I went through the ordinance a couple of times and I didn't see any valuable consideration being offered. And I think it's a terrible mistake to allow them to use the property without getting some rental value out of it. And indeed, it even says, in fact, it waives fees for city development review applications, site inspections, building permits, and building inspection fees associated with the approved interim fee, uses. I just think it's a terrible thing to let them use it without any sort of compensation to the city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Anyone else care to speak to the item? That comes back to the council and the CRA. Do we have any final comments from the council or the CRA? Mr. Foley, on behalf of the CRA, would you call the roll on, or have the roll called, I should
Yeah.
say?
All right, so can we get a roll call, please, for the approval of item B2?
Don Burnett,
Yes.
Drew Bastian,
Yes.
Scott Stiltner,
Yes.
Tracy Grubbs,
Yes.
Chairman Foley.
Yes.
And as for the council, on the same item, call the roll?
Councilman Foley,
Yes.
Councilman Grubbs,
Yes.
Councilman Bastian,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stiltner.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes. Chairman Foley?
All right, and now on the motion to approve item B3, can we please call the roll?
Don Burnett,
Yes.
Drew Bastian,
Yes.
Scott Stiltner,
Yes.
Tracy Grubbs,
Yes.
Chairman Foley.
Yes.
And on behalf of the council, call the roll?
Councilman Foley,
Yes.
Councilman Grubbs,
Yes.
Councilman Bastian,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stiltner,
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. Now for the council. We have any other, Wayne, did we cover it all? Did we have any further business come for us?
No further business.
Okay, Mr. Attorney, same question? We're good? All right. There being none, the joint special meeting is hereby adjourned and we will reconvene as council, and here we are. Public comments on consent agenda items. Do we have anything tonight?
No, no.
No, I'm
Oh,
looking
sorry.
at Robert.
I jumped ahead of you.
I'm looking at Robert. We're good on the consent agenda? Okay.
Thanks, Mayor.
May I have a motion for approval for the agenda for the evening?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second, to approve the agenda for the evening. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have an agenda for the evening. Now, on consent, we have items 6 through 10. I have a motion for approval.
Move to approve consent agenda items 6 through 10.
Second.
We have a motion, proper second. Items 6 through 10, resolutions included. Call the roll.
Councilman Foley.
Yes.
Councilman Grubbs.
Yes.
Councilman Bastian.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Stiltner.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Yes, 5-0. Public comments. Let's see. Miss Emma Clark.
Hi everyone, my name's Emma Clark. I'm with the Port Orange South Daytona Chamber of Commerce. I wanted to thank you all for your continued support with the Chamber. I'm just here representing them today to talk about upcoming events that we have. Selfishly, I'll share mine first. I have a ribbon cutting tomorrow for my newest storage location at All Aboard Storage. It's August 22nd from 4 to 5 p.m. We also have a ribbon cutting next week at a new company called Wire 3. It's August 28th at 1 p.m. And then next week, we also have our annual member appreciation night. It's open to the public. It's completely free. We provide dinner from our local business, Giuseppe's. He's donating free pizza. It's August 29th from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And then a couple of events that are happening later in the months. We have an upcoming job fair on September 26th at the Riverside Pavilion from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., which is also open to the public. And then we have a casino night coming up on October 25th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Our tickets just went on sale today, and we are still actively looking for sponsors. And I do have flyers for our event tonight if anybody would like a flyer. But that is it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Emma.
Good luck. Hope to see you tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you. Yes, I have a lot of food and drinks. So everybody should come out.
Come hungry?
Yes.
Good. Robin, did I have any more? No. Okay. With that, council comments. Why don't we start, let's see, who will have, Drew?
Nothing.
Excellent. Reed?
Got quite a bit, actually. First
Oh,
off, want to
we
send
got one.
condolences Our city clerk, Tracy, her mother passed away,
Yeah.
and so want to send condolences to her and their family. I also want to congratulate all of our candidates yesterday who ran. It's not easy to put yourself out there, and sometimes the result's not what you wanted. I lost in my first attempt, and so but looking forward to serving with those who've succeeded, and for those who weren't, man, keep your head high. Public service is something that's very important and is very much needed. There's lots of boards and things that we need people to serve on here in the city. So also I want to say that I was excited about the result of the Parks bond. That was a big task. I know there's a lot that went into that, Susan and staff and everybody. I'm excited to see that passed. Now I think that's very important, and everyone already knows this. We just have to be good stewards of that money, which I know that we will be. But I'm very excited to see what comes of that. And finally, I want to say thank you to the police chief for the new CSO at Sugar Mill specifically. My wife saw an interaction this week that was very interesting. Obviously, with that being there, it's created some traffic backup. And while a lot of people are excited because of the safety, a lot of people are not happy because of the time that it's increased for picking up your kids. But nevertheless, our CSO officer had a resident or a parent that was very unhappy about the process and decided to tell him about it through his driver window. But our CSO handled it extremely professionally and kept traffic moving and went about his business. So kudos to him and to everybody over there. Hopefully that's an improved situation.
The first 2 weeks of school, everywhere, always are a little bit chaotic.
Absolutely. It's a much
We need
different
to be
thing.
More patient, not less.
But if safety is paramount, like we all say it is, then it doesn't matter. Just got to get there 5 or 10 minutes early because it's all about it's in the name of safety, and that's what's most important. So
Amen.
that's it.
All right. Tracy, what you got?
So, stemming off of Councilman Foley, Susan, you got your hands full now, so don't push retirement out any sooner. So we have lots of money coming in for the Parks and Recreation bond, and I think this is a loudly spoken out by the citizens the way this got voted. Having the west side, I don't want to say neglected, but having the west side not having a beautiful facility like we have over here on the east side, this is a great fix for both sides of the city. This also adds to the Parks and Recreation, to all the sporting fields that we are lacking the fields to be able to supply for the youth and the adults. And like I said 3 weeks ago, we ended up having phone calls after phone calls. Why do I need to vote on this? Well, it's not just for us, it's for our kids and our grandkids. This is going to be a beautiful layout, and I just can't wait for all the possibilities to come to light now. The other that I want to talk about that was on the consent agenda, making sure everybody understands, because I get a lot of phone calls on this one, is the pier at Memorial Park. It's been closed for 2 years. The pier at Memorial Park has finally got approvals. Staff has worked wholeheartedly diligent on this. We got FEMA money coming in. Project $676,000 to go back and rebuild those 2 piers. FEMA is going to come up to approximately 75% of that. So for the citizens, $80,000 roughly, give or take a few thousand, to have that pier put back in place for that side of the community is just crucial. From the walking abilities to the fishing and everything with the kids and everybody down there. So thank you. It means 2 years coming up, so thank you for getting that done. Lastly is for council, been toying with some other ideals. We always talk about the benefits of our citizens, but I want to do benefits of what we do for our community businesses. One thing that always comes up that's kind of a thorn and some businesses' sides is dealing with that illustrious open house signs. And I see smiles and I see frowns with this one. But it's the question of having open house signs as a pilot program, try it 4 to 6 months only to see if we can keep it under control for strictly open houses on a Saturday and Sunday basis only. And then that way, if anything is there on Monday, they get picked up and thrown away. The issue that we have is we have people trying to sell homes. I know selling homes is not the greatest thing, but business is good when you're trying to sell them and the market is big. But when the market starts to slide a little, you need a little bit of extra help. Signage does help. Try to figure out the proper policy to that is having it strictly on a Saturday and Sunday only, I think, not all week long, and having those signs available for people to find their homes so they can sell it easier and things of that nature.
Well, I'll tell you what, based on your query right now, I'm gonna ask the city manager, can we workshop this item? I'll allow Tracy to give you some guidance on some of the things that he's looking for, but we need to have a larger discussion, and let's workshop that before we move forward with that.
Can I ask a question to piggyback off it just real quick, or would you prefer I don't?
Why don't you save it for the workshop?
I can do that.
What, is it a simple one?
It's an attorney question.
No, save it for the workshop.
All right. There you go.
What else you got?
That's all.
Okay. Mayor-elect,
Sir.
the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I just want to echo Councilman Foley's thoughts that I want to say thank you to everybody that's involved in putting on the elections, not only in the city of Port Orange, but countywide. It requires a lot of work by a lot of volunteers and just a lot of people in general to do that. And it's one of the greatest things that we can do in our country. And so it's a great experience. I will tell you that campaigning is not the fun part of any of this, as those that have participated recently can attest. But I do want to say thank you to everybody that does have that interest to put their name out there and get involved and run for a public position, because that's what we need. We're a city of a little over 65,000 people, and we need people to want to come and do this job and serve. And the same thing goes for our volunteer service boards. I want to give a plug to participation in the Port Orange University program. That's probably the #1 place I think people who may ever want to do this should start. And so whether you're committed to doing it today, or you think you would want to do it in 2 years, 4 years, 10 years, or whatever, that should be really, really high on your list to participate and go through that Port Orange University process. It would give you such a background about city operations and what's involved. And then applying for the boards, like Councilman Foley talked about, I think is a great thing to do. So want to plug that. Just one other comment I wanted to share with the council. Getting a lot of citizen concerns, as I'm sure you guys are, with the roadway condition of Williamson, specifically around the Williamson and Taylor area. And our city is going to reach out to the county to kind of see what their short-term and long-term plans are, and I'm going to do that with the elected officials. But and of course, I'm not an expert on pavement, but something seems to be going wrong there, because they've gone out there and they have fixed those areas, and then they just fall apart. And literally, there are sections of Williamson that it's just coming apart, and I don't know if it's a poor mix or what is involved in that. I have no clue, but you don't see that nearly as bad in other areas and other roadways that have, high density traffic. I mean, the paving stuff that occurs on our city streets, I've seemed to be pretty pleased with it. We'd love to have more, get more done, but the quality of it seems to be pretty good. But in some of those roads, it's just, there's something definitely going on there. So I've asked city staff to take a look at that and see if we can get some feedback for our council, so that as we get those questions from residents, we can answer to those. But that's all I got for tonight.
Okay. Well, first of all, the reason why we're meeting today instead of on a Tuesday is yesterday was election day. I would be remiss in pointing out that a few things are, if I didn't point out that a few things are going to be changing December 3rd. The three of us on this side of the dais have 36 years of commitment to the city of Port Orange. And before us, there were a lot of people that had a lot of years of commitment to the city of Port Orange. You guys will become the veterans real fast. And Scott, congratulations. That was a nice win. Sometimes this chair comes with cement shoes, there is certainly, but that's okay. It has been a lifetime privilege of mine to have served the last 8 years as mayor and the last 14 years on this council. I love this town, I love this city, and the best part about it is when I say that, I know I'm not the only one. There are so many people in this community. We can agree or disagree on some things, but most of the time when people are speaking up, it's because of their love for community and they want better for it. That's terrific. That's the challenge you're going to have, and I know you're up to it. As these 2 seats are about to get filled, 2 people sitting in the audience, I want to congratulate somebody with a last name Green. Has there been a Green on this council before?
Yeah, we know him.
Twice.
Lance has served, 14 years on the Planning Commission? 18. Gee, see how time flies. And Sean, Sean Gephardt has longtime community activist, former chamber president, still coaches like crazy, even though his kids are grown. I know that connection to kids, you don't lose it. I'm kind of the same way in some of the things I'm involved in with the schools, but those 2 people couldn't be finer additions to this council. And Barry Pytek was in here earlier. I don't see him now. But people like Barry who run for these offices, I'd love for them not to go away even though they're lost. We have openings on city boards, and then you can learn and contribute to the city. So come back. Don't, just because an election loss, there are ways to continue to contribute. You ran for anybody who runs for these offices does it out of some sort of love for this community, and we would love to have you serve our community, and that's one way to do it. We would love to have those enhancements on city boards, and we're certainly going to have an opening on the Planning Commission for some reason here real soon. So we're going to need applicants for that. And then of course, I'm kind of having a melancholy moment because I know these next 2.5 months of transition is actually longer than the present gets, but each one will be one less meeting towards the end of my service here to the city of Port Orange. Unfortunately for me, an election for a larger office did not go well for me yesterday. But in looking at the numbers in the county race, the city of Port Orange supported me very well. And I did not lose yesterday because the residents of this city didn't support me, because they absolutely did. And I am grateful to each and every one of you. I had stiff competition, and I'll give it up to them. There were 4 people in that race with a lot of name recognition. There were 4 people with 4 different views. That appeals to a lot of different people. But I'm going to say this, I am not going away. I don't know if it's going to be in politics, but I was born here, I'm going to die here, and in the meantime, I'm going to find a way to continue to contribute to this community. And as people who have been my friends know, it's dangerous to be my friend because you're going to be, somehow you're going to get sucked in and you're going to be helping me. No, yeah, I'm looking at you, Stan. With that, it has been an honor and a privilege to serve with you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
The job's
And I
not done
have
yet.
served with over a dozen different people on this dais. And the faces will continue to change over the years, but as long as they show up with a commitment for what's good, we don't always get what we want when we arrive, but after the conversations and everybody submits to the right and good process, the citizens of this city get what they need. And I'm just going to stop right there because I can continue.
Sure.
You know how I get diarrhea of the mouth sometimes. So, the other thing I wanted to mention is I wanted to thank the Chamber of Commerce for their support of the bond initiative. You guys did a terrific job of helping get the word out about what it is and what people are going to get from that. And that bond initiative for parks isn't just about Parks and Rec. Certainly, we got 5,000 people playing field sports in the city of Port Orange. 16 cities, the closest one doesn't even have that number, half that number. And I have said, I don't care whether you're age 8 or age 80, I want you to have something to do. If you want to get involved in the community, Parks and Rec is going to have something for you. And we do, we've come a long way. But it is also about preserving green spaces. Karasi Park, terrific park, multi-purpose facility. Hard to have multi-purpose things going on because of the size of it. It's about to get bigger. And that park's gonna get bigger and we're gonna have more green space there instead of development. I like that, and I like that an awful lot. And one of the things I was able to talk about on the campaign trail is this county has a lot of land in preservation. 1/5 of it is owned or partly owned by the city of Port Orange. That has been our long-term commitment, and it's started a long time before any of us got up here. And it was a lot of good hard work from people that came before us, but it's up to us to continue to make that happen and continue that part of our culture. So that Parks and Rec bond is an investment in our community, and I want to appreciate. I know not everybody felt the same way about it. That's okay. That's what elections happen. But a whole lot of people did, and I want to thank you all who have voted for it. We will continue to invest in our community long after the 5 of us are up here. With that, this is an advisory committee for the TPO. Do we have our TPO report?
Bobby's not here. He had several meetings over on the other side of the county today, and I don't think he was able to get back.
Oh, you mean we have to skip something?
Darn.
Oh, darn. Additional items, city attorney report.
None tonight.
Excellent report. City manager.
Just want to let you know, we had the final budget book ready to go to give you guys to go forward, but with the parks bond passing, John said if I gave him a couple more days till Friday to get it to you, he'd be able to actually put the funds in for the, we won't have the money for the parks bond until next year because it goes on the tax roll, but he can set the budget up to show that. And we do expect to start moving soon. We'll probably pull some money through a budget amendment, start designing the Horizon Park soccer fields right away so that we can get that going rather quickly. So we wanted to move
Excellent.
quickly. So if you give us an extra 2 days, he'll get the budget book ready and we'll send it to you. I think everybody wanted a hard copy except Reeve, who made one for him anyway. So we'll get those hard copies to you on
Yeah.
Friday.
Nothing like Sunday night reading. What else you got?
That was it.
Council committee reports, First Step Shelter. Wanted to let you all know that the First Step Shelter is at capacity and actually beyond it. There are 86 residents there right now. They're doing a terrific job. The Safe Zone has been a terrific addition, and that's something that this city has taken advantage of in great numbers. One thing that has certainly gotten some publicity, a former employee did file a whistleblower complaint, and we had that investigated. With that investigation, the person who filed the complaint did not want to participate in the investigation. Yours truly had to run that First Step Shelter Board meeting because Mayor Henry was unavailable. So we spent an hour discussing it. I'm proud of that board and the hard work that they put into it. But it was recommended to us that we continue the investigation at an additional cost. Most of us didn't see the practical point of continuing investigation when the person alleging the charges didn't want to participate in the investigation. So we have the investigative report was given to us last Friday. We'll read through that if we want to do anything more. Me personally, based on what I've seen and read in that report, I don't really want to spend another dime. I want the mission of First Step to continue.
Yeah.
So there's that report. Port Orange South Daytona Chamber, thank Emma Clark for coming and giving that report, so I don't have to. With that, any other business come before us this evening?
Mayor, real quick.
Uh-oh.
May I?
We were
had
on a roll.
Well, we had a police pension meeting Monday. Can I give the update now, or would you like me to
Absolutely.
wait?
Pension meeting Monday.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, you go first, Councilman Foley.
Just that
Wait a second. You go first, Councilman.
Sorry, Mayor.
Mayor's not ready to hand it over just yet. There you go. No, but the plan is up 15% year to date, and also received the $581,000 that it receives annually through the insurance, 1% tax on property insurance, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So the plan's doing really well this year.
Good.
Really, really proud of all the hard work, both by the members of that board as well as Frank and his team over at BCA.
All right, police plan is very similar news. Fiscal year to date, as of June 30th, 15.96% net of fees. The plan is 86%, 86+% funded. And with that, on June 24th, or June 30th, 24, the plan was valued at $64,894,581. And of course, they had a very good July and August, and the plan, as of August 19th, the plan was up another $2.1 million. And so that takes it fiscal year to date approaching 18%. So the plan continues to do well, and good things are happening over there.
All right. I see Bobby Ball snuck in. You want to give us a report? Citizens Advisory Committee? Well, in that case, no. Do what you're supposed to do, and we'll hear from you next time. Any other business come for us this evening? If not, have a good night, everybody. Thank you.